film stars Robert Pattinson in the lead role as Mickey and offers a glimpse into humanity's future. The story explores a world where humans travel to distant planets to establish colonies, and massive corporations exploit the technology of cloning workers after they die, essentially providing an endless supply of free labor. However, things take an unexpected turn when Mickey returns home one day and finds his previous version still alive. Suddenly, there are two Mickeys, leading to a bizarre and intriguing conflict. The story takes place in the year 2054 on a planet called Niflheim. We meet our protagonist, Mickey, who finds himself trapped in a deep trench beneath layers of snow. Confused, he wonders how he could have survived such a dangerous fall. Looking up, he spots a shuttle arriving, and stepping out of it is his friend Timo. Relieved, Mickey shouts in gratitude, believing Timo has come to rescue him. However, Timo is visibly shocked to see him still alive. As he begins his descent, it's revealed that Timo isn't there to save Mickey, but to retrieve an expensive flamethrower that had fallen into the trench. After grabbing the weapon, Timo apologizes, explaining that Mickey is expendable. His next clone is likely already prepared. With a smirk, he asks Mickey how many times he has died, to which Mickey angrily responds, 16 times. I'm Mickey 17. Unbothered, Timo simply tells him, enjoy your death, before climbing back up and leaving. Soon after, terrifying alien creatures known as creepers emerge. Their queen charges directly at Mickey and crushes him in an instant. And with that, the scene abruptly cuts off. The story flashes back to 4.5 years earlier, when Mickey was just an innocent young man. His friend Timo tricked him into taking out a huge loan from a mafia to start a food business. When their business failed, the mafia came after them, leaving them with no way to escape on Earth. Desperate, they decided to board the last ship leaving the planet. The ship, owned by failed politician Kenneth Marshall, was heading to planet Niflheim, where he planned to establish his own rule. However, with millions trying to secure a spot, Mickey had little chance of getting on. Timo, being a pilot, easily got a job on the ship, but Mickey had no such luck. Left with no other option, he applied for the only available job, expendable, without even reading what it entailed. Medical officer Gemma processed his application, repeatedly asking if he had read the contract. Mickey, distracted and eager to board, simply said yes. She then took him to the ship's medical area, explaining that beneath the lab was a massive furnace where all organic waste was processed and reused. A small portion of this waste was used in a special machine, a printer, that created human clones. If he died, his body would be reprinted within 20 hours. Mickey barely paid attention, captivated by the scent of Gemma's hair. After scanning his body and saving his data, she injected him with a serum that refreshed and backed up his childhood memories. This triggered a painful recollection. When he was a child, he had insisted on sitting in the front seat of a car and had pressed a red button, which led to a crash that killed his mother. Since then, he had lived with overwhelming guilt, believing he was responsible for her death. Overcome with emotion, Mickey broke down in tears. Gemma handed Mickey a gun and told him to shoot himself. His job as an expendable required him to die repeatedly so his clones could be created. Hesitantly, he did it, officially becoming an expendable, nothing more than a disposable worker. His life aboard the ship was miserable, receiving only the bare minimum to survive. One day, Kenneth and his wife visited the workers' area, and while the crew cheered for them, Mickey remained clueless about the politics at play. During this time, he met Nasha, a security agent, who took an interest in him. They became friends and eventually a relationship developed. For the next 4.5 years, Mickey was the ship's only expendable, forced to test dangerous technology and viruses. If he died, his body was tossed into the furnace and a new clone was printed. On one occasion, he was sent outside the ship for repairs, but in reality, they were testing radiation exposure. Within seconds, his body burned, debris struck him, breaking his arm, and he died from radiation. The worst part, each new clone retained the painful memories of how the last one died. Feeling worthless, Mickey believed he was being punished for something. The only person who cared for him was Nasha, who often accompanied him on dangerous missions, ensuring he wasn't completely alone. After years, they finally arrived at planet Niflheim. As expected, Mickey was the first to step onto the surface. However, he was forced to remove his helmet, instantly succumbing to a deadly airborne virus. His death led to further testing, with multiple vaccine versions being developed. Mickey 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 all played a part in the trials. Eventually, the correct vaccine was created, and Mickey 17, along with a few others, successfully received it. Kenneth, Mickey, Jennifer, and a soldier set out to explore the area around the planet. During their search, they discover a cave. Jennifer decides to go down to check how deep it is and comes across some small alien creatures. The group panics and starts running while shooting at them. In the chaos, Jennifer accidentally fires her gun upward, causing an avalanche of snow to collapse on her, killing her. After they return to the ship, Kenneth, the leader, is is furious with Mickey. He blames him for Jennifer's death, saying that as an expendable, it should have been Mickey who died instead. He considers Jennifer more valuable because she was young, beautiful, and capable of having children. As punishment, he orders Mickey to work 14-hour shifts and reduces his food rations until he brings back a sample of the alien creatures. Determined to complete his task, Mickey ventures out to capture one of the creatures, known as creepers. One day, while trying to catch one, he accidentally falls into an ice trench. This brings us back to the moment from the beginning of the story. Just when it seems like Mickey 17 is going to die, the large creature, who turns out to be the queen of the creepers, grabs him. The smaller creatures he saw earlier are actually her children. The queen drags Mickey into her cave, and he fears the worst, assuming she will feed him to her offspring. However, instead of attacking him, the little creatures play with him. Despite this, the queen eventually throws Mickey out of the cave and leaves him unharmed. Mickey is shocked. He starts wondering if, after so many clones, his body no longer tastes good, which is why they refuse to eat him. Desperate and exhausted, he even begs them to eat him, thinking it would be a better fate. But instead, the creatures say something in their own language and walk away, leaving him confused. The creepers turned out to be highly intelligent creatures. Instead of harming Mickey, they simply told him to leave. Somehow, Mickey managed to catch a ride on a transport truck from his own ship and returned to the main spacecraft. Exhausted, he freshened up and went to sleep in his room. However, when he woke up, he wasn't alone. Lying next to him was his newly created clone, Mickey 18. The crew had assumed Mickey 17 had died, so they activated his next clone. But something was different about Mickey 18. Unlike his previous versions, he was sharper, more confident, and much more aggressive. Without hesitation, he picked up a dumbbell and went straight for Mickey 17, intending to kill him. This happened because when a new clone is created, while the previous version is still alive, it results in a situation called multiples. Multiples are strictly forbidden, and whenever they occur, the duplicates are immediately destroyed to prevent complications. The reason behind this rule dated back to Earth. The scientist who originally developed this cloning technology had secretly created multiple clones of himself at home. When people found out, there was an uproar, especially from religious groups who believed that a human and their soul should be one. The situation escalated into a major court case. At the time, politician Kenneth Marshall had stepped in and promised the court that cloning would be used only for space missions. He assured them that only one clone would ever exist at a time, and in cases of multiples, all duplicates would be destroyed. Based on this promise, the court approved the use of cloning technology, but only under strict conditions. Now, history was repeating itself. With both Mickey 17 and Mickey 18 existing at the same time, one of them had to be eliminated. Without hesitation, Mickey 18 attacked, knocking Mickey 17 unconscious and dragging him toward the furnace to dispose of him. Desperate to survive, Mickey 17 begged for his life. He offered to take over all of Mickey 18's work shifts if he spared him. Just as Mickey 18 was about to make a decision, they heard footsteps approaching. It was Timo. Panicked, both Mickey 17 and Mickey 18 quickly hid. Meanwhile, Timo was secretly selling illegal herbs to someone, unaware that Mickey 17 and 18 were watching him. Seeing this, Mickey 18 decided he would kill Timo. After all, it was Timo who had tricked Mickey into the failed business that led them to this situation in the first place. When Timo was finally alone, Mickey 18 confronted him and, without warning, pushed him toward the furnace. Timo barely managed to grab onto the edge, hanging there, pleading for his life. Just then, Mickey 17 stepped in. He fought off Mickey 18, forcing him to back away, and then tried to pull Timo up to safety. As 17 struggled to rescue Timo, Mickey 18 attacked again, and a fight broke out between the two clones. In the middle of their brawl, the head of security and Nasha, Mickey's girlfriend, approached. Seeing them coming, Mickey 17 quickly hid. Hanging onto the furnace, Mickey 18 threatened Timo, warning him not to say anything. Then at the last moment, he pulled Timo up. When the security team questioned what had happened, Timo covered for him, saying he had slipped by accident and that Mickey had saved him. After that, Nasha, believing Mickey 18 was her boyfriend, took him with her. Meanwhile, Mickey 17 tried to sneak away, but he was quickly caught and taken in for testing. He was then brought before President Kenneth Marshall and his wife, Yalfa, for dinner. Also present was a soldier named Kai. For the first time in ages, Mickey 17 saw a real meal in front of him, delicious chicken. Starving, he eagerly stuffed himself with food, but suddenly his body started reacting badly. His skin turned red, and he began vomiting blood. The medical team rushed in, revealing that he had been fed an experimental version of chicken. That was why his condition had worsened so quickly. Mickey screamed in pain, his body writhing uncontrollably. Seeing Mickey 17 suffering, President Marshall was about to have him killed when Kai stepped in. She confronted the president, asking if he was even human or just a monster for treating his own people this way. She then took Mickey, 17, with her, gave him some healing herbs, and helped him recover. Kai had feelings for Mickey, but had never acted on them because of Nasha. Now with an opportunity, she tried to make a move. However, Mickey was still in love with Nasha, so he panicked and ran away. He returned to his room, only to find Nasha already there, with Mickey, 18. Seeing them together hurt him, but before he could react, Nasha noticed there were now 2 Mickeys. Instead of being shocked, she was excited. She jokingly suggested they could have some fun together, but before anything could happen, Kai entered the room. She was stunned to see 2 Mickeys and immediately went to report them. Knowing that if this news spread, both Mickeys would be killed, Nasha rushed after Kai to stop her. Meanwhile, in another room, Mickey, 18, confronted Mickey, 17, asking where he had been all this time. Mickey, 17, explained how the president had fed him experimental meat, making him sick. Hearing this, Mickey, 18, was furious. He already hated the president, and now he was determined to kill him. Without hesitation, he stormed off toward a public ceremony where the president was giving a speech. At the event, the president and his officials were unveiling a massive stone they had brought from the planet. As Mickey, 18, approached in anger, both Nasha and Kai followed, trying to stop him. Suddenly, strange things began happening. Small creepers started emerging from the giant rock, causing chaos. However, Mickey, 17, who had communicated with the creepers before, tried to calm the situation. He mimicked their sounds, tick-tock, and managed to catch one of the small creatures, named Joko. Just as Mickey, 18, was about to kill the president, Nasha intervened, preventing him from doing so. At that moment, another creeper burst out of the stone and directly attacked the president. The guards immediately captured and killed the attacking creeper. However, Joko, the other creeper, was still alive. The president ordered Joko to be taken to the lab for examination. When he noticed the 2 Mickeys standing there, he wasted no time. He had both of them arrested, along with Nasha. After killing one creeper and capturing Joko, the remaining creepers started appearing near the ship in large numbers. Meanwhile, Mickey, 17, Nasha, and Mickey, 18, were locked up in jail. That's when Timo approached Mickey, 17, with a desperate plea. He revealed that the loan shark they had borrowed money from had sent a legal demand. Either they record a video of one of them being cut into pieces and send it, or the mafia's men, who were already on board the ship, would kill Timo. Timo begged for help, asking Mickey, 17, to sacrifice himself. At first, Mickey, 17, refused, but Timo argued that since he was expendable, he would just be cloned again anyway. Mickey, 17, being naive and trusting, fell for Timo's emotional act and agreed. Timo then electrocuted Mickey, 17, to knock him out and smuggled him out of the jail cell. He was about to cut Mickey, 17, into pieces using a chainsaw when Mickey, 18, suddenly stepped in. Thinking quickly, Mickey, 18, sweet-talked Timo, telling him that if someone had to die, it should be him instead. After all, he was the one who had tried to kill Timo before. Timo, fooled by Mickey, 18's words, let his guard down and stepped closer. Seizing the moment, Mickey, 18, and Nasha overpowered him, fought off his men, and broke free from the jail. Nasha, still furious, grabbed the weapon and was about to finish Timo off, but Mickey, 17, stopped her, so she spared him. Just then, security personnel arrived and captured them again. They started escorting the 3 of them back to Marshall, who was preparing to execute the small creeper, Joko. As they were being led away, a medical staff member approached Mickey, 17, and asked him how he had managed to communicate with the creepers the previous day. Mickey, 17, explained that these creatures were capable of interacting with humans. The medical worker then revealed something surprising. After a day of testing, they had discovered that the creepers were not only highly intelligent, but also extremely advanced. In fact, they had even developed a device that could allow humans to communicate with them directly. The next morning, a large number of creepers gathered around the ship, seemingly waiting for something. Seeing this, President Marshall assumed war was imminent. Mickey, 17, Mickey, 18, and Nasha were brought before him. Furious, Nasha scolded the president for his treatment of people and insisted that the creepers were not here for war. They simply wanted their young one, Joko, returned. However, Marshall refused to listen. The medical officer then informed him that the creatures were highly intelligent and that they had even developed a translator to communicate with them. Instead of taking it seriously, Marshall mocked her, making strange noises to imitate the creepers. In response, Joko spit at him. Enraged, Marshall tied Joko up and suspended him over the furnace, telling Nasha that if she wanted to save the creature, she would have to hold the rope with her teeth. She did so without hesitation. As further punishment, Marshall ordered Mickey, 17, and Mickey, 18, to bring back the tail of one of the creepers. Only one of them would be allowed allowed to live, while the other would be executed. He forced them into bomb vests, keeping the detonator in his control. As they stepped outside, Mickey 17 got emotional, recalling how his mother died because he pressed a button in a car. Frustrated, Mickey 18 snapped at him, telling him to stop blaming himself. The accident was due to a defect in the car, not his actions, and deep down, he knew it. Before they left, the medical officer secretly handed Mickey 17 in the translator, giving him a chance to communicate with the creatures. Mickey 17 and Mickey 18 reach the Queen, the leader of the creatures. Using the translator, Mickey 17 asks if she knows him. To his surprise, she responds, "Yes, Mickey." Shocked, he warns her that the humans plan to kill them with poisonous gas and urges them to leave. However, the Queen dismisses him as foolish. Mickey 18 then steps in, informing her that one of her children is still on the ship and could be in danger. Hearing this, the Queen lets out a powerful scream, joined by the other creatures. The sound is so intense that it nearly incapacitates both Mickeys. The Queen then explains that this frequency can cause human brains to explode. She demands her child back and insists that since the humans have already killed one of her sons, a human must die in return. If her terms are met, they will leave peacefully. Mickey 17 signals Nasha through the ship's cameras, explaining that the Queen just wants her child returned. The President, envious that Mickey 17 is at the center of this historic moment, decides he should be the one making first contact. However, instead of negotiating, he leads his army down to exterminate the creatures. He orders them to use flamethrowers, enraging the Queen and her followers, who immediately shift into attack mode. Meanwhile, inside the ship, Nasha seizes the moment. Using her athletic skills, she subdues Yalfa, pinning her down. Just as she is about to break her neck, a security officer intervenes, asking what she wants. Nasha demands the safe return of the small creature to its mother. The head of security agrees, but Yalfa still tries to kill the creature, leading to her immediate arrest. As tensions escalated, the creatures prepared to attack the humans. However, before the battle could begin, Nasha arrived with the baby creeper. Mickey 17 took the child and handed it back to the Queen, immediately calming her down. Yet the Queen still demanded a life in return. Mickey 18, already determined to kill the President, seized the opportunity. He stormed into Marshall's vehicle and brutally beat him. After saying his final goodbyes to Mickey 17 and Nasha, he took the detonator in his hands. The remote had two options, 17 or 18. Without hesitation, he pressed 18, triggering a massive explosion that killed the President, along with himself. Everyone watched in shock and sorrow as Mickey 18 sacrificed himself to save them all. Even Yalfa, the President's wife, was left in a state of devastation. True to her word, the Queen of the creatures honored their agreement. With her child returned and the debt repaid, she led her species away, leaving the humans in peace. 6 months later, a new human colony had been successfully established on the planet, now led by Nasha. During a special ceremony, she introduced Mickey 17 by his real name, Mickey Barnes. As a final act to break free from their past, Mickey personally destroyed the cloning machine, ensuring no more expendables would ever be created. With that, the people cheered, embracing a fresh start. And with that, the movie came to an end, marking the beginning of a new society on this planet.